Yeah. All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another live session from the series Engineering Qualification Validation in Australia. And in this live session, I will be talking about the different pathways to validate the engineering qualification in Australia. And I hope that you guys are hearing me all right. So we can start with the content. But first, for those that don't know me, my name is Gerson. I'm the founder of the website www.engineersinaustralia.com, a website to share content of value and useful information to help you in your journey to validate your engineering qualification in Australia. And I also share information about other subjects in engineering. Like last week, I spoke about the fundamentals of contract management. I also talk about workplace health and safety, environmental management, and other day-to-day of engineering. And also I've got a special series about how to get your first professional job here in Australia as well. But tonight, I'm going to talk about the engineering qualification validation and the different pathways that engineers, especially overseas engineers, they have when they need to validate their engineering qualification in Australia. And if you haven't joined my Telegram group yet, I've got a Telegram group. What is Telegram? Telegram is like a WhatsApp. It's a messenger. It's a message app where I have my group, Engineering Qualification Validation. Now today with more than 800 members, and in that group I post the PDF of these live sessions. Obviously, when you guys meet the conditions, and also I post videos, audios, and other posts related to engineering qualification and jobs as well. So if you guys are not really part of the group yet, in Facebook and Instagram, I'm copy and pasting the link for you guys to join. You just need to download the Telegram group app first. The Telegram app first. And once you download the Telegram app, you can then click on this link. And I'm going to actually put Telegram. That's how you find in the Apple Store or in the Google. What's that? No. Telegram. Yeah. I cannot. What's happening with my Facebook? Telegram. Yeah. And those on Instagram, you can go to the link in my bio. Once you click on that link, you can then, one of the buttons is to join the Telegram group. And also, would like to let you guys know, next week, the Sunday next week is Easter holiday. And because it's a public holiday, and I'm gathered that a lot of people will be traveling, including myself, next week I'm not going to do the live session on the Sunday. I'm going to push back a couple of days and I'm going to do the live session on Tuesday. So it's going to be Tuesday, the 6th of April at the same time, 8:30 p.m. Brisbane time, here on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. As you know, I've got a commitment with you guys to do this live session every week. So next Sunday is not going to be possible, but I'm going to do on Tuesday, so I don't really fail to do this live session that I really enjoy to do with you guys. And if you're interested in the free workshop, Engineering Qualification Validation, you can register for free to the next event. And the next event is going to happen on the Sunday, the 11th of April. Sunday, 11th of April, at 10 a.m. Brisbane time, I'm going to start the event. So you can register yourself in the free workshop as well, using the link that I'm putting in the comments in Facebook and YouTube. And if you are watching on Instagram, you can go to the link in my bio. And once you click on that link, the first button is for you to register to the free workshop. I'm actually going to show you here something that's about the registration, which is very important. So I think I'm just going to just make sure that you guys can see here. I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to just share my screen with the registration page, and then I can show you how you guys can register. So I think now you guys can see my screen with my website. I believe you still can hear me. I'm just going to double check that. Yeah, I think you can. And this is my website, so www.engineersinaustralia.com. So once you go there, you can register to the next free workshop. So once you click on this link, you will go to the registration page. Fairly simple. You just put your email address. Let's choose this one there. So, and I'll put my name. And I'm Brazilian. I'm living in Australia, and just register now. Fairly simple. Just your email, your name, and you select, and your registration is confirmed. So what happens is that you will receive, and here you can join my social media. But it's very important that when you get this screen confirmation, you go to your email, because you will receive an email. Just see if I can show you the confirmation email. Where is that? Where's the confirmation email? That's a good question. I think you should get a confirmation email. It's not quite coming yet. Yeah, it takes between 5 and 10 minutes. So I'm just going to see if I can find a confirmation email here. Yes, I can. So I'm going to share this other screen. Where is that? Display capture. Capture 2. Yeah. So that is the confirmation email there. I'm going to, yes, I think, just a second, guys. Yeah, that's this one. So I'm going to just show you the confirmation email. So that is the confirmation email in there. And as you can see, you will have the pictures of the video that are still locked, but it's very important that you will receive the confirmation email. This one is in Portuguese, but obviously if you are registering in English, you will receive in English. But more important is to make sure that you save my email address in your favorites. So very important to save in your favorites, because if it's not really saved in your favorites, it can actually go to the junk mailbox. And if it goes to the junk mailbox, then of course when I send you the emails with the link of the videos and the live sessions, you're not really going to be able to receive it. So really important, yeah, really important for you guys to save my email address. All right, So let's pretty much go to the content now. And in this live session tonight, as I said before, I'm going to talk about the different pathways to validate your engineering qualification with engineers in Australia. And if you haven't read the booklet yet, there are 3 occupational categories in the engineering that are recognized by Engineers Australia. The first category is the professional engineer. The second category is engineering technologist. The third category is the engineering associate. And for immigration purposes only, there is the additional engineering manager category. However, if you are successful in this application as an engineering manager, you should note that this occupation is not an engineering occupation. It belongs to the ANZ SCO group of managers. It doesn't really belong to the ANZ SCO group of engineers. So therefore, if you are successful in this application, you will not automatically become a member or be eligible to become a member with Engineers Australia because it's a manager group. But it works for your immigration purposes. So, and I'm going to produce a PDF of this live session, and I'm going to show you guys how the PDF is going to be. So, as usual, I have my notes and I will be producing a PDF if I get some engagement with you guys. Unfortunately, in the last few couple of sessions, I had some likes, but I didn't have responses. Remember, for you guys to get this PDF, I need to get some likes and some comments in my Instagram post that I usually do. So, as you can see, this is going to be the PDF, and the question tonight is to write down in the comments which pathway you will be applying for your validation process. Tonight you're going to see that there are 5 pathways that you can go depending on your situation, and I would like you guys to I'm going to post a photo in my Instagram, and I would like you guys to like the photo and then put in the comments which pathway you will be applying for your validation process. If I get some engagement with you guys in terms of likes and the comments, I will then make this PDF and I'm going to post in my Telegram group. So, as I said before, we've got the professional engineer, we've got the engineering technologist and the engineering associate, and the engineering manager category is just for migration purposes. And this diagram, it comes from the booklet, the Engineers Australia Migration Skills Assessment booklet, and it kind of explains overall the 5 different pathways, and that's what I'm going to explain tonight to you guys. Okay, so the first pathway is about pathway number 1, which is for those engineers that obtain an Australian degree recognized by Engineers Australia. The pathway number 2, I'm going to say all the pathways and then I'm going to give details about each one. Pathway number 2, the qualifications recognized by the Washington Accord for Professional Engineers. Pathway number 3, the qualifications recognized by the Sydney Accord for engineering technologists. And pathway number 4, the qualifications recognized by the Dublin Accord for engineering associates. So those 4 pathways are the 4 pathways for accredited qualifications. And there is the 5th pathway, which is for qualifications not accredited by Engineers Australia, or also for the engineering manager. And if you are graduated or qualified as a non-accredited program, you have to go through the Competency Demonstration Report pathway, or CDR pathway. And this pathway is that a majority of engineers will have to apply under, because the Washington Accord, Sydney Accord, and Dublin Accord is just 20, between 25 and 29 countries that are signatories to those accords, and all the rest of the countries in the world, they because they are not signatories to those accords, you need to go through the competency demonstration report pathway. And it's important to say that the booklet is very clear that Engineers Australia does not provide any pre-assessment services. So it is your responsibility to identify the correct pathway to your qualification. So if you don't really know what pathway you need to follow, Engineers Australia doesn't really provide that service. You need to figure out by yourself. But I'm here tonight to help you to clarify which pathway you should go for. Okay, so, and just to again, I'm going to show the diagram again. So this diagram you will find on page number 7 of the current migration skills assessment booklet. So you gotta make sure that you download the booklet, and then once you download the booklet, which is current, is the March 2020 edition, you need to go to the page 7, and page 7 will have this diagram there. All right, so explaining with a little bit more details each of those 5 pathways. So pathway number 1 is Australian qualification pathways, and this is for the professional engineers, engineering technologists, and engineering associates. So if your qualification is accredited by Engineers Australia and is listed as fully accredited according to the signatories published list, and the date of your qualification corresponds to the accreditation dates, and you would like to be evaluated according to your degree and course content, then you can apply under the Australian qualification pathway. So why do I say that? The dates, and they talk about dates and qualifications, etc. Engineers Australia has a list of accredited courses or accredited programs with dates, and those courses, they can be either full accreditation or provisional accreditation, and you can apply under this Australian qualification if it is under the full accreditation scheme. If your course is still just provisional, you're not going to be able to apply under this pathway because the course needs to be fully accredited. But it's always a good idea to, if you have any questions, if your course is full accredited or provisional accredited, to send Engineers Australia an email just asking that question, because sometimes the list can change, can be updated, and Engineers Australia is probably best positioned to answer this question to you. So that is pathway number 1. Pathway number 2 is pathway number 2, 3, and 4. We're going to talk about the 3 different accords: Washington Accord, Sydney Accord, and Dublin Accord. And I'm going to show you guys on my screen the International Engineering Alliance. So the International Engineering Alliance, I'm just going to share with you guys. Sorry, just going to find where it is. I think it's here. I managed to find it. Just going to search on the net. Yeah, it's here. So this is the International Engineering Alliance. So you just need to Google International Engineering Alliance, and I'm just going to, looks like it's, just a second guys. I'm just going to change the format so it kind of gets a little bit clearer. Yeah, now it's better. Yeah, thanks. So the International Engineering Alliance, I'll read here, is a global not-for-profit organization which comprises members from 41 jurisdictions within 29 countries across 7 international agreements. And it says that these international agreements govern the recognition of engineering educational qualifications and professional competence. So we will see that pathway number 1, we've got different accords. So we've got Washington Accord, Sydney Accord, Dublin Accord, and some other things. But these 3 accords, they are the main ones. So the first pathway, it's the Washington Accord. And we'll see that the signatories of these accords are those countries. And as I mentioned before, signatories have full rights of participation in the accord, and others, they have provisional signatories. And provisional means that they okay, but they still need to prove that they will become a full signatory. So for the Washington Accord, the countries are Korea, Russia, Malaysia, China, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Ireland, Hong Kong, China, Chinese Taipei, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Japan, India, United States, Turkey, United Kingdom, Costa Rica, Pakistan, and Peru. So all of those countries, they are signatories, they are full signatories of the Washington Accord. So please note that they have a year when they became full signatory. For example, let's say Russia. Russia became full signatory in 2012. So it means that if you are a Russian engineer and then you graduated in 2012 or after, then you are eligible to apply under the Washington Accord. If you graduated before 2012, it means that even though Russia is part of the Washington Accord, but because you graduated before 2012, you still got to do the competency demonstration report, which is the CDR pathway. Okay, so going back to Washington Accord, if your qualification is from one of those countries, and if you graduated before the year that the country became a full signatory, and the Washington Accord is just for professional engineers. So if you're going to apply under the professional engineer category, then you can apply under the Washington Accord. The pathway number 3 is under the Sydney Accord. And the Sydney Accord is for engineering technologists. And if we go back to the website again and click on Sydney, which is a Sydney Accord, so that is for engineering technologists. And then there are some countries that are full signatories that have full rights. Australia, Canada, Chinese Taipei, Hong Kong, China, Ireland, Korea, New Zealand, South Africa, United Kingdom, United States, Malaysia. So those countries, they have full rights of participation. And again, there are some years when they became full signatories. So if you graduated in that year or after, then you can use, and if you are going to apply for the engineering technologies category, you can then apply under the Sydney Accord. And then we've got the, just before that, I'm actually going to take a picture of this, and I'm actually going to take a picture of the question that I'm going to put in Instagram, and then I'm going to post now so you guys can have a look and and then do your likes and everything, and then we can start doing the post. So I'm going to take a picture of that. I'm just going to take a better picture. Yeah. So I'm taking a picture. I'm going to post now in Instagram, and I would like you guys to like and make a comment so I can produce the PDF. So write down in the comments which pathway. So while I write here, I would like you guys to put in the comments, where are you from? Where did you graduate? Did you graduate in any of those countries from the Accords? Or are you from, or did you graduate in a different country? So please put in the comments so I know where did you graduate. Well, I'll place that post in Instagram. So which pathway you will be applying for your validation process. Okay, share. All right, Oscar in Facebook, Bolivia. Oh, that's a first one. Flavian, Brazil. Those on Instagram. Where did you guys graduate? Yeah. All right. So we've got Bolivia, we've got Brazil. Where else do we have? I graduated in Brazil, and that's why I had to do the CDR pathway, because Brazil is not signatory of any of those countries. Yeah, Mauro graduated in Brazil. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. And as you guys can see, I posted in my Instagram the picture there. And if you guys want the PDF that I'm creating here, I would like you guys to, after this live session, to like the post and then answer in the comments which pathway are you going to do. Pathway number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then if I have some engagements, which means likes and comments, I will produce this PDF and I'm going to post in my Telegram group. And again, this PDF will have a protection of a password that I'm going to tell you pretty soon. Well, actually the first half of the password is going to be different, all in small caps. So different is the first half. I'm going to write here so you guys can see what's going to be. So different. So that is the I don't know why it's different. So that's the first half. As you can see, that's the first half of the password. So stay with me until the end. All right, so we saw, and that's how the PDF is taking shape. Pathway number 1, Australian qualification. Pathway number 2, Washington Accord. Pathway number 3, the Sydney Accord for Engineering Technologists. And then pathway number 4 is the Dublin Accord, which is for engineering associates. So if we go to the website there, the International Engineering Alliance website, Accords, Dublin, That's for engineering technicians or engineering associates, as they say here in Australia. And the full rights of participation in this accord, there are just few countries: Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, Korea, South Africa, United Kingdom, United States, and Malaysia. So if you graduated as a technician or engineering associate in those countries in that year or after that year, you then are eligible to apply your validation under the Dublin Accord. But if you didn't, then obviously you have to apply under pathway number 5. And pathway number 5, it is for non-accredited programs, or if you graduated from a country that is not a full signatory of those accords. So, which means if you are from Brazil, like myself, and like few others there, and Oscar, Bolivia, unfortunately, Bolivia is not part of the any accord as well. So, unfortunately, you have to do pathway number 5, which is the Competency Demonstration Report, or CDR. And this means that you have to arrange all your documentation, you have to write your CPD, continuing professional development, you have to write your career episodes, you got to write your summary statement, and do your English test and everything else. So unfortunately, CDR pathway is the pathway which is more complicated, because you got to then demonstrate your competencies to prove to Engineers Australia that your degree is equivalent to the Australian degree. And this is pathway number 5. The good news is that from April the 11th, I'm going to start my free online workshop, where in 1 week, and I say 1 week because the event is pretty much going to last for 1 week. I'm going to do a few live sessions. I'm going to release some recorded videos with a lot of information, and in just 1 week I will teach you, and you will be learning what you need to do to start your validation process here in Australia. So that's a good news, that if you don't know much, after 1 week you will learn everything that you need to know to start your validation process. So please make sure that you register yourself to the free online workshop. Okay, I'll just go into my notes just to see if I haven't forgotten anything. I don't believe we've got any French engineer here, but maybe a French engineer will watch the replay. So back in February 2019, Engineers Australia signed an agreement with the French Institution of Engineers. And if you graduated in France in or after 1970 and is listed in the Journal Official de la République, sorry, my apologies, my French, in the list of institutions habilitated to deliver the title of engineer, you are then eligible to apply under the Washington Accord if you are a French engineer registered in the Institution of Engineers there in France. So, but you're still going to use pathway number 2, which is under the Washington Accord for professional engineers. So just recapping that the 5 pathways, the first pathway is an Australian qualification pathway. Pathway number 2 for professional engineers under the Washington Accord. Pathway number 3 for engineering technologists under the Sydney Accord. And pathway number 4 for engineering associates or technicians under the Dublin Accord. And pathway number 5 under the CDR pathway, Competency Demonstration Report, for those engineers graduated with a non-accredited program or from countries that are not full signatories to any of those accords. And as I can see here, those on Instagram, I didn't really get any. I don't know, where did you guys graduate? So if you can put in the comments, where did you guys graduate, so I can perhaps give you some hint which pathway you need to go. Those in Facebook, they already said that. Oscar is from Bolivia, Flavian from Brazil, Mauro from Brazil, and Ivinha from Brazil in Instagram. Thanks, Ivinha. Well, Brazil and Bolivia, unfortunately, you will need to apply under the Washington Accord to validate your qualification. Those ones from Brazil, there is probably an exception, which is the Federal University of Minas Gerais, UFMG, that you can apply for a temporary visa under the Washington Accord. For the visa, I think it's 476. But again, this is just a temporary visa, and you gotta fulfill some restrictions in terms of age and time after you graduate. But again, that's just a temporary visa. Even if you come under the UFMG 476 visa, if you're going to apply for a permanent visa, you need to still validate your qualification under the CDR pathway, the Competency Demonstration Report. I think Rodrigo in Instagram from Brazil as well, graduated in Brazil. So yeah, unfortunately, those ones you gotta go through the validation CDR pathway. So I'm going to give you the second half of the password, and the second half of the password is, I'm just going to put in there so you guys can see. The second half of the pathway is going to be, I'm going to write here, pathways is going to be in red here so you guys can see. So that's the second half of the pathway. Sorry, second half of the password, which is pathways. So you just gotta join the first half, and then the second half, that's going to be the password. So what I would like you guys to do is to go to my Instagram, and in my Instagram you can, well, sorry, this doesn't really have my Instagram. You just need to go at Gerson Ida. That's my Instagram there. And in the last post with the picture of this PDF, you just need to like the photo and then put in the comments. After now you saw the 5 different pathways to validate the engineering qualification in Australia. So which pathway are you going to go to your validation? So once I have few engagement there, likes and comments, I will make this PDF and I'm going to post in my Telegram group. So if you're not part of my Telegram group yet, on Instagram, just go to my link in my bio. When you click, there's a button there that for you to join my Telegram group. Those on Facebook and YouTube, the link is in the description and in the comments. And Lucas in YouTube, he said that he's graduated in Brazil. Yeah, thanks, Lucas. So please, if you want this PDF, yeah, you need to like and make some comments there. And as I said before, the good news that although CDR pathway is a little bit more work, the good news is that from the 11th of April, I'm going to start my free online workshop, Engineering Qualification Validation, and you will be able to learn. And I'm going to show you my workshop webpage. I think it's worthwhile showing, so you guys can have a look what you can find in my website. So yeah, Rodrigo is asking in Instagram, and if you have any question, yeah, please feel free to ask. Yeah, Brazil, we need to use pathway number 5. Yes, that's correct, Rodrigo. Well, I think your name is Rodrigo. It says Rod S. Lopez. Yes, Brazil, unfortunately, it's not part of any of the accords, and the courses in Brazil, they are not accredited by Engineers Australia. So you need to go pathway number 5, which is the competency demonstration report. So for you to check the workshop website, you just need to go to my website there, www.engineersinaustralia.com, and then on the home page there is, on the top right corner, there is the Eng Qual Val workshop. So once you click in that menu, you will be going to the workshop page. The page is not very beautiful because I did myself the page, so it's a very engineering page. So the workshop is going to start on the 11th of April until the 18th of April. On Sunday, 11th of April, 10 a.m. Brisbane time, I'm going to have the opening webinar. So if you go on that date at that time, you can click in the button, and then you will be able to join the webinar. And then after the webinar on Sunday, the next day on Monday, I'm going to activate video number 1. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to activate video number 2. And then on Friday, I'm going to activate video number 3. And then on Sunday, the 18th of April, is going to be the closing webinar, where I'm going to review the whole process and have sessions of question and answers. On the page, there is the calendar of the workshop as well, so you can see what's going to happen in each of the workshop days. You can still register to the workshop if you haven't registered yet. And you can put some comments. If you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions that of themes or subjects or questions that you would like to know during the workshop, you can put in the comments there. I would appreciate to have your comments. And because it's going to be an interactive workshop, you can join my Telegram group, as I mentioned before, and in the group you can ask questions, you can make comments. I also have my Facebook group, Migration Skills Assessment for Engineers Australia, that you can join. I think I've got, nowadays, I think the group is getting really big and really good. I think I've got more than 1,000 members in the group. Actually, yes, 1,400 people in the group, which is good. Thank you very much, guys. And also, if you have a particular question, in the workshop page, you can actually send questions via SurveyMonkey. And I believe it's a fairly simple survey. Just, I think, 3 questions. 1, you kind of indicate what sort of engineer are you. 2, if you want to receive a response by myself, you just need to put your email. If you don't, you leave in blank. And then question 3, you can then ask your question. What are your top 3 questions? And then question 4, where are you now? Are you in Brazil? Are you in Australia? Are you in... If your country is not here, just specify other. And those questions are very important because obviously I am here every week. And sometimes I don't know what to talk about. And if you have questions, obviously, I can address those questions. I can record a video. I can do the live session based on the question that you have. So, and probably doesn't really take more than 2 or 3 minutes to answer this questionnaire here. And also in the workshop page, you can watch some of the testimony videos from some of my students, my mentoring program students. Those ones are some of the successful students of mine. I now have about, I think, 10 students that already validated their qualification. And that's it. So that's the workshop page. Again, how you go there, you just go to my website, engineersinaustralia.com, and then go to the menu there, and then you can access the workshop page. Just going to double check if is there any question there. Comments. I don't believe. I think Mauro in Facebook, he sent a comment there. I'm just going to open and have a look. So Mauro said, thanks to know it because my degree is from UFMG anyway. I have to do all process. Yes, it's probably a good idea to check with a migration agent, Mauro, because I believe that that 476 visa, it's a temporary visa, and you gotta have some conditions in terms of age and the time after you graduated. But again, it's just a temporary. If you want to apply for a permanent visa, you need to validate your qualification under the CDR pathway. But obviously the temporary visa will give you work rights to work full-time in Australia. But because the borders are closed and because it's a temporary visa, I don't believe you can actually come to Australia because the borders are closed. The borders are just open for permanent residents and Australian citizens. So if you are, where are you? Are you already here in Australia or still in Brazil? Because if you are in Australia, perhaps you can apply under the 476 if you fulfill the requirements. All right. If you guys have any other question, yeah, please let me know. If you don't, I'm just going to remember you that next week, Sunday next week, because it's Easter holiday, I'm actually going to travel, not because travel is an impediment of me doing live sessions. I did already live sessions even from a tent. Remember that I did one of the live sessions in a tent when I went camping with my daughter. But this time I think we're spending Sunday, we're going to have dinner with friends. So I won't have time to do that, but I will be doing the live session. I'm going to do the live session on Tuesday, April the 6th, same time, 8:30 p.m. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So instead of the next live session to be on Sunday, it's going to be on Tuesday, the 6th of April. And in this webinar, in this live session next Tuesday, I'm going to explain how the workshop is going to work, because the Sunday after is going to be the 11th, is going to be the first day of the workshop. And the opening webinar is going to be 10 a.m. in the morning. So I'm going to explain how the workshop is going to work. And Mauro replied in Facebook that he's in Australia. So if you're in Australia, and probably a good idea to check with a migration agent, because if you are able to apply under the 476, I believe you get between, I think, 1.5 or 2 years visa, temporary visa, and you can work full time. So, and then during this time that you can work full time, perhaps you can find a company that wants to or willing to sponsor you and can make your migration journey a little bit easier. So certainly a good idea to speak to a migration agent. All right. Any other particular question there? If we don't really have, almost 1 hour. Sorry, guys. I went a little bit over time, but I would like to thank you guys for your participation. And Mauro, if you have any questions, you can send me a message in Messenger, or if you are in Instagram, send me a direct message. I've got some migration agents that I give references. I don't really get any commission, but because I know that they do a really good job, I give their references because they do a good job and they don't rip people off. So if you want some information, just send me a message and I'll pass the details to you. All right, guys. If you don't really have any other questions, I hope to see you guys. Unfortunately, not next Sunday because it's holiday, but then Tuesday, the 6th of April, 8:30 p.m. Brisbane time, here on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And I'm going to talk about how the free workshop is going to work, what I'm going to cover during the free workshop in each day, what you're going to learn if you participate in the free workshop, and I'm going to talk about the free consulting services that I'm going to do during the free workshop as well. And if you have any question, please don't forget, I'm going to show again in my workshop page, there is an area that you can send your 3 main questions. It will certainly help me to customize the workshop according to your needs, because I do the workshop according to what they already asked me in the past. But if you guys are going to participate in the workshop and if you have any specific question, you can then click on that button and then it will open up the SurveyMonkey. Again, 4 questions, not going to take more than 2 minutes for you to answer those, and it will greatly help me to tailor, to customize the workshop for you guys. And Julio Cesar giving good morning in Instagram. Good morning, Julio Cesar. I'm gathering that obviously you're Brazilian and you probably graduated in Brazil. Am I correct? And perhaps are you in Australia or are you in Brazil, Julio? And for those ones that were not here in the beginning of the live session, this PDF, I'm going to show the PDF. I'm going to do a PDF of this live session, but I'm going to show you the post in Instagram. I did a post in Instagram. You go to my profile, Gerson Ida, and then there's this post with the picture of the PDF. So for me to put the PDF in my Telegram group, you need to like my post and make a comment. And the comment is, write down in the comments which pathway you will be applying for your validation process. And the 5 pathways are under the Australian qualification pathway. Pathway number 2, Washington Accord for Professional Engineers. Pathway number 3, Sydney Accord for Engineering Technologies. Pathway number 4, Dublin Accord for Engineering Associates. And pathway number 5 for non-accredited qualifications or non-accord listed country for professional engineers, engineering technologies, engineering associates, and engineering managers. So we'll probably wait until tomorrow to see if I've got any likes or any comments, and then I'll do the PDF. The PDF is going to be protected by a password. And the password it is the first half is different. It says, where does it say? Yeah, here, that's the first half of the password, different. And the first half and the second half of the password is pathways. So different pathways altogether, small letters, is going to be the password of this PDF that I'm going to put in my Telegram group if I've got engagement. If you're not part of the Telegram group, those ones that arrived a little bit later, you can go to my bio. There's a link there. One of the buttons after you click the link, it's the Telegram group. And those ones in Facebook and YouTube, the link to my Telegram is in the comments. All right, I would like to thank you guys very much for your participation, and I'll see you Tuesday, 6th of April, 8:30 p.m. Brisbane time, here on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you very much, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.